Number 10, we have I flew in from Torrid. Going to another universe sounds good, but you have no idea what's going to be on the other side. Maybe it's going to be really simple. Maybe it's a universe where everything is the same, but everyone's left-handed. Or maybe it's a reality where the Nazis won the war and O.J. Simpson leads a fighting force in America against the Nazi forces. Well, the man from Torrid probably wished he stayed back in his universe. It was 1954 and a plane just landed in Tokyo. Everyone was getting off and everything seemed normal. But then one dude halted everything. Custom officials ran out and started investigating this one guy. He had all his documents, but he was from a country that didn't exist. It was a place called Torrid. The man in question said that it was a very real place and that he had flown from Torrid to Japan many times. At first glance, this guy seemed to be a whack job, but then the crazy thing was that all his paperwork was legitimate. He had official stamps on his passport to back all of his stories and claimed that the country of Torrid was squeezed right in between France and Spain. The custom officials in Japan were stumped, and I understand why. There isn't anything in the training manual about how to deal with interdimensional travel. So they escorted him to a hotel and he was not allowed to leave until the problem was sorted out. 2 guards stood outside of his door and he was on the 15th floor, so there was no way for him to sneak out of the building. In the morning, the guards went in to take him out for more questioning and the dude was gone. He disappeared like a fart in the wind, and that was the end of the story. I guess he didn't like how strict we were in our dimension. At number 9, we have the Beatles ain't dead. These were the claims of James Richard after he took a trip down Abbey Road and ended up in a parallel universe where the Beatles were still kicking. To start off, I have to say that James Richard is not this guy's real name. He uses a fake name so the powers that be won't find him. But his story goes like this. He says that him and his dog were going for a stroll through the Del Puerto Canyon in California, and then out of nowhere he fell through a hole in space and time. He woke up in another version of Earth. He was in a hospital bed and there was a man named Jonas sitting next to him in the bed. And then Jonas started to give him the rundown on interdimensional travel. Through their discussions they started to talk about music, and it turns out that Richards was in an alternate version of Earth where the Beatles were still alive and cranking out tunes. James Richard even brought back a cassette tape with the music of this living Beatles band. The cassette was called Everyday Chemistry, and it sounds like he just spliced together some Beatles songs and some Wings songs, but who knows, maybe this is what the Beatles would have sounded like if 2 of their members never died. At number 8, we have the Dobbses. Frank and Althea Dobbs were the leading minds in a new scientific practice called chaos science. It's the idea that consciousness could possibly be its own universe. They started to pick up some steam and some other people decided to join their cause. They moved the team to a ghost town of Ong's Hat, New Jersey. Here they started to do research on interdimensional travel. I have to say this does sound like a cult. Well, cult or not, they claim that they've succeeded in this practice. It's said that they found a wormhole which led them to a parallel version of Earth that never had been consumed by humans, and they chose to stay there. Considering the state of the planet right now, I would say this was a very good choice. At number 7, we have Whose Life Is This? You go to sleep a happy lady and then you wake up and you're back with your ex-boyfriend? This sounds like a bender that you wish didn't happen, but for Lorena Garcia, this wasn't that at all. She woke up in her bed and she noticed a bunch of minor details were off. The setup of her room was a little off and her sheets weren't the ones that she loved. Never mess with a lady's sheets. Then her ex-boyfriend walked into the room, but the crazy thing is, it wasn't her ex. They never broke up and they were still together. After this she was like, okay, this is crazy, but I gotta go to work. So she went into her job and she had a different job and a different boss who was someone she had never seen before, and she couldn't explain any of this. At number 6, we have Riverside Down. I don't know how you can go through an interdimensional portal without noticing it, but apparently this happens quite a bit. Carol Chase McElhenney was driving through Cali when she decided to take a short trip to her hometown of Riverside to see how things never really change. It can always be a little bit of a shock to go back to where you grew up, but this time things had changed a lot. Actually, everything had changed. The layout of the town was the same, but all the houses were different. The home she grew up in was warped. She was concerned that she had taken a wrong turn, but she found her old school which she went to, which was exactly where it should be. But then she started noticing strange figures around the town, people who looked a little off and definitely creepy. This was enough for her, and then she sped out of there. She returned to this town at a later date and everything was back to normal, but she never forgot that time she slipped into a parallel dimension. At number 5, we have Interdimensional Cabin. No, this isn't another movie pitch from me, although this would have been an amazing movie pitch. There's a cabin in the Markwasi Stone Forest that is said to open up a door to a different time. Some women were hiking through the woods and they saw some people outside this cabin dancing and lighting torches. Before you run away in fear, they weren't lighting torches to get all angry mob, but it was because they didn't have any sort of modern technology. They were all dressed in clothes that looked like they were pulled out of the Spanish Golden Age. The people dancing eventually entered the cabin and the women went to investigate. One of the women walked halfway into the cabin and her friend grabbed her and pulled her out. She immediately fell to the ground and couldn't move half of her body. Half of her body was paralyzed. The women ran away, and some people speculate that the reason the woman couldn't move half of her body after she entered the cabin is because she entered another dimension halfway and then was pulled out, which caused her body to get all screwed up. I don't really know if there's good science on this. At number 4 we have, what road is this? The crazy thing about all these stories is how calm people are when they get transported to another world. Pedro Olivia Ramirez was driving through Spain and was headed to the town of Alaca de Guadarira. This was a drive he could do on autopilot. He had done it so many times before, but this time something went terribly wrong. He made a usual turn that should have led him down a small road, but he was suddenly on a 6-lane highway. He didn't recognize any of this at all, and everywhere around him there was these buildings that seemed like they were pulled from another world. Eventually he pulled off the highway, and to his surprise he ended up in Alaca de Guadarira. He tried going back to find this highway, but he never could. See, if that was me, I would be swerving all over the road and then would pass out from a panic attack. At number 3 we have a wrong turn. When you go on a road trip, you probably want to go cross country, not cross dimensions. There were 4 girls driving through a desert in Nevada, and out of nowhere things started to get a little strange. They saw street signs that had an unknown language on them. They didn't have any sort of markings of any alphabet that any of them could recognize. So what's the best course of action when you end up in a strange neighborhood? Well, you ask for directions, you silly little goose. So they saw some dudes hanging out in what looked like to be a truck stop diner, and they drove up beside them to ask them where they were. But then things got strange. These guys started to freak out, and it didn't take long for the women to realize that these guys were humanoids, but definitely not human. So they hightailed it out of there. This is when they started to get followed by some oval-shaped vehicles. The girl driving slammed on the gas, and she must have pushed it up to 88 because then they were back in Nevada, and the oval pursuers had vanished. At number 2 we have the Children of Woolpit. This story is bonkers. We're going back to the 12th century. Everyone in the town of Woolpit was chilling and doing a bunch of farm stuff and just trying to survive. You know what it was like back then. Then 2 kids came walking into town. They had green skin and spoke a gibberish language. The people took these kids in because they're kids and they seemed like they were terrified. They fed them, but the kids would only eat beans. Then not long after this, the boy of the 2 died. But the girl lived on. She eventually learned how to speak English and told everyone that she was from another world, somewhere where the sun never rose and it was perpetually twilight. She said she was on her father's farm and heard a crash, and then she was in Woolpit. She never found out where she was from, but she did eventually settle down and start a family. And for the number 1 spot we have Shadow of a Doubt. Interdimensional travel is apparently impossible because space-time bends matter and light, but because of this bending of light there is a chance that we could see shadows from another dimension. This could have been what happened to a young woman who was living in Massachusetts. She said one night she saw a shadowy figure appear in her room out of her closet. The figure moved close to her and then was followed by another. And then another. Some of them were wearing strange clothes and one of them seemed to be wearing glasses. Then they started to surround her and she did the smart thing and hightailed it out of her room. Of course, you're not going to stick around with the ghost things. There could be the chance that these were some sort of beings peeking in from another dimension. Alright everyone, that has been our right. At number 10 we're going to be kicking off this list with the multiverse theory. If anyone at home is not a fan of science or has never picked up a comic book, then you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Information on this topic goes deeper than a fat kid in a ball pit, so I'm going to give you the Cole's notes on this. Since 1957, when physicist Hugh Everett first suggested it, scientists have proposed the idea that we could be living in an infinite landscape of universes. There are a ton of theories on how this multiverse is composed, and I am not smart enough to break them all down for you, but I'll give you one example. A common idea is that there's a landscape of universes which are flat and go on forever, with universes sitting beside each other. Because this landscape escape is infinite, you can have universes that are drastically different. There could be universes where superheroes are real, and people read comic books about ordinary people to try and escape the stress of their super-filled life. And there could be universes that are so similar to ours but slightly off. Like you could have blonde hair instead of brown hair, or Twinkies could be healthy.
With that tragic performance from Che, now coming in at number 9 are the Crossroads. So back in November of 1986, Pedro Oliva Ramirez was making his way from Sevilla to his home in Alcalá de Guadaira. I hope I said that right. As he was turning a corner, he found himself on a 6-lane highway that had never been on the route before. Either way, he hadn't done the journey for a while, so he assumed it could have been new. He continued down the highway, but he started seeing weird things like 20-story housing units, 2 feet high grass bordering the highway, and just unidentified metallic structures. After finally clocking something was off, he suddenly felt hot as hell in the car and started hearing voices in the distance, one of them which was telling him he was in another country in a different hemisphere. An hour into the drive to seemingly nowhere, Pedro finally gets to a sign pointing 3 ways. We have Malaga, Sevilla, and Alcalá. Hope I said that right, I probably didn't. He took the Sevilla detour and 5 minutes later he was outside of his house in Alcalá de Guadaira, which literally wasn't even possible because he took the route which would have taken him back the way he came, meaning further away from his house. Like how did man like Pedro drive 3 hours to a sign and then end up back at home within 5 minutes? He even tried retracing his route but never found the crossroad or 6-lane highway again. And a 6-lane highway going missing, that is a big deal, you guys.
At number 8 we have deja vu, that feeling when you swear you've seen something before, like you can feel it in your bones. Some people think it could be your instincts telling you what's going to happen, maybe like a spidey sense. Maybe we all have spidey sense, we just don't know how to use it yet. Where other people say it's a delay in the communication between your left and right side of your brain. It's like when you're in a conversation with a group of people and you say something, then someone in the group says the exact same thing that you just said, and you're like, you never listened to me, you're being a bad friend. But what if it's none of these things? What if it's you tapping into the frequency of another universe for just a moment? If parallel universe theory is right, there could be infinite universes. So there could be a universe exactly like this one, but just a little bit ahead. Deja vu could be you getting a glimpse into this space for a moment, and then returning back to our reality. This was suggested by physicist Michio Kaku in his book Parallel Worlds. Maybe every time you feel like you've been somewhere before, it's another version of you that has been, and for a brief moment you're connecting to them. If I could tap into this ability, I would make so much money gambling.
Filling on number 7 slot is Lisbia. So back in 1905, a man was caught by police in Paris for attempting to steal a loaf of bread. And I mean, geez, you guys, it's just bread, just let him have it. Cut the man some slack. They ended up taking him to the station and questioning him, and they soon realized he couldn't speak a language. He didn't understand or speak French. He spoke something that sounded like Esperanto but wasn't and had different grammar to it. After trying to communicate with him for hours, they finally found a way to ask him where he was from, to which he replied Lisbia. And at the time the police just thought that was his way of saying he was from Lisbon, but then he didn't understand or speak Portuguese, which sus, very sus, but again it's fine because he could have been from Lisbon but been brought up somewhere else and never learned the language. Like, it is fine, I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Strange man. But then, when given a map of Portugal, he had no clue what he was looking at whatsoever, so the officers eventually realized the man meant Lisbia was a country. We're at no one knows what happened to the man or where he went, but maybe he just crossed over back to his universe and made his way back to Lisbia. I don't know. Can I get a visa? I'd like one.
For number 6 we have strange artifacts. There have been items that are still puzzling archaeologists as to where they have come from and how old they are. It's like when you wake up after a blackout and you find a half-eaten uncooked frozen pizza on your floor, and you have 30 text messages sent out to your ex and you're like, what happened last night? Well, this is kinda like that, but with more science. One of the best examples of this is the London Hammer. It was discovered in 1936 and it seems to be a man-made iron hammer, but it was found in a mound of rock that's over 400 million years old. And I might be wrong about this, but I don't think there was any hammers back 400 million years ago. How did a human tool work its way all the way back to before the dinosaurs? Perhaps it was blasted through a wormhole from another dimension. Hopefully not with the guy who made it still holding on to it. One minute you're blacksmithing a sword, and the next you're getting devoured by an 8-foot tall centipede. There was also the blue rock that was discovered in Sierra Leone. This rock was sent to research labs around the world, but no one was able to identify its origin or link it to any other known rocks.
Coming in at number 5 are the Beatles, and this one is debatable because it really comes down to whether we want to believe this person or not, so let's just go with it. So back in 2009, James Richards was driving home in California with his dog. We love a good doggo appearance. You are a good boy. Don't let anybody tell you different. Now he ends up pulling over because the dog has to pee, and we all know dogs have 3-second attention spans, so off it goes chasing a rabbit. Now James springs into action and starts chasing after her, but trips and hits his head on a rock and ends up unconscious. Like already this sounds like a very bad remake of Alice in Wonderland without the hallucinogenics, so what is going on here? Now when James finally woke up, he was next to an odd machine and a man called Jonas who claimed he found his body while on a work trip for the interdimensional travel agency that he worked for. Do you have openings, Jonas? Can I apply? What do you need? What do you need for the CV? I'm there for it. Either way, they end up talking for absolutely ages and start discussing the differences in pop culture, because that's apparently the #1 thing you want to know about a parallel universe, like not world leaders or climate change. Pop culture. Guess I'm a nerd. Either way, James ended up finding out that in Jonas's universe or dimension, the Beatles also existed. They were all still alive and they were all making music. And I know anyone can say that, but Jonas even gave him a cassette called Everyday Chemistry, which had Beatles songs on it that never existed in our dimension. Those songs are actually on the BeatlesNeverBrokeUp.com if you do want to check them out, but damn Jonas, you have my attention now.
Alright, at number 4 we have the Mary Celeste. This one has been baffling people for centuries. It's one of the greatest missing person stories of all time. It was back in 1872 when the Mary Celeste set sail. It was a cargo ship packed with booze, and it never made it to its destination. It was found off the coast of Portugal with its entire crew missing. Not only that, but the cargo was intact, so they weren't attacked by pirates. The crew still had their belongings on board, so it was not likely that they left by their own will. There's a chance that the whole crew went mad and jumped overboard, or a portal from another dimension opened up and they all got sucked into a different universe. There could have been a bunch of dudes from the 17th century running around in a futuristic world. It would have been like every primetime show from the 90s with a time travel plot. They're from the past, but now they're in the future. What will they do? Find out watching Anchored in Time, 8 p.m. on Fox.
Filling our number 3 slot is The Wrong Riverside. This one follows a woman called Carol Chase McElhaney who is driving from San Bernardino to Perris, California. Now on her way there, she passed a sign for Riverside, which is where she grew up, so she decided to make the pit stop there to relive her childhood and have some nostalgic vibes, because we all love a cheeky nostalgic vibe, don't we? She started driving to the street she grew up on, but her old house was nowhere to be found, and none of the houses were recognizable to her at all. And it wasn't like everything had been bulldozed over and reconstructed, it just wasn't the same. Straight up, it was different. Freaked out, Carol drove to her grandma's old street to find that that was looking different as well. She then went to the cemetery where both her grandparents were buried to find no cemetery at all, but a fenced up a lot with weeds everywhere in its place. At this point, Carol was like, am I being punked? Where is Ashton Kutcher? Like, is he gonna come out? As a final grasp at sanity, she went to University Avenue, a street where there were usually restaurants and hotels, but now there was just a bunch of graffiti and run-down buildings, and the people there were just off. No one was smiling, they were all wearing black, and Carol was getting the feeling that if she spoke to any of them, she'd be stuck in that place forever. But our girl did not give up there. She spent the next few hours trying to find something from her past in Riverside, and when she came up short, she finally went home. Years later, Carol's father died and was going to be buried at the same cemetery in Riverside, and when Carol arrived in town, everything was how it was from when she was young. So how did she happen upon a Riverside from a different dimension that was just bad, and now she's back in the regular one? I don't get it. I don't get it.
And at number 2 we have the cold spot. When you flip your pillow over and it's cold on the other side, that's because there's a small amount of cold radiation buildup on the other side of your pillow from a parallel universe. That thing I just said, that is completely made up. Cold radiation? I'm an idiot. The cold spot is actually an area in our universe that is 1.8 billion light years away. Through what's called microwave background mapping, we've been able to map the cosmic rays in the universe, possibly back to the Big Bang. Through this technology, scientists were able to locate this cold spot. The reason this massive field was colder was because it had 20% less mass in it than it should. Why does this area have less mass? Well, because it was just hot girl summer. Don't you remember? Sorry if this cold spot is too skinny for you. Well, actually, some scientists think that this could be from another universe crashing into ours. The force of these universes colliding caused a massive amount of energy to fly out, thus making the area colder. This could be the doorway into another universe where the laws of physics are completely different from what we understand. Now you just need to make the 1.8 billion light year trip to get there.
And finally, at number 1 is the interdimensional tunnel. Now this story actually came from the book Hunt for the Skinwalker, and this particular story is about the Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. Now this ranch is infamous for strange happenings. People who have spent the night there have seen things they don't even know how to talk about or explain, so how the hell am I meant to tell you guys about them? I can't. Well, in this book, a hunter that the author met described seeing an interdimensional tunnel open up on the ranch. He saw it through his binoculars, and initially it just looked like a bright yellow circle, but it started getting deeper and deeper, and that wasn't even the worst part. Then a huge faceless creature crawled out of the circle and then disappeared into the woods, and mind you, this massive shining portal was still open for business and ready to pump out more faceless monsters. Like, are we just gonna push that under the rug? I guess so. The hunter left the area ASAP Rocky and never went back there, but he's been utterly convinced ever since that tunnel or portal was to another dimension or universe, and honey, I believe you. You're preaching to the converted.
And rounding off this list in our number 10 spot, we have the story of Carol Chase McElhenney. One day in 2006, Carol was driving through San Bernardino, California on her way to Paris, California, where she was going to stay for a few days. On her travels, she saw a sign for Riverside, which was nearby, and she decided that since her family had roots there, maybe it was time to stop in for a visit. As she went into Riverside, she realized that everything looked different from how she remembered it, and was unable to find her old house that she grew up in. She tried to go to the street that her grandmother used to live on, but that one was different too. And when she tried to visit her grandparents' graves at the cemetery, the whole place didn't even exist. Even the people who were living in the town gave Carol a bad feeling, and she didn't even want to get out of her car. She decided she would just be better off continuing on her trip and left Riverside. Carol didn't end up returning to Riverside until a few years later, after her dad had passed and she was attending the funeral. To Carol's surprise, when she went to Riverside this time, everything was as she remembered it from her childhood. Carol believes that day that she ended up in some sort of parallel universe form of Riverside, and she even said that she felt like if she left her car that day, she was going to get stuck there. In our number 9 spot, we have this story from Peru. The Marcohuasi Forest in Peru has been called a doorway to another dimension for centuries because of all the stone figures that resemble human faces and religious figures, and because of the amount of people who go missing and never get found. There was a group of friends who decided to enter the forest despite all of these stories, and they ended up stumbling upon a cabin that appeared to have some sort of party going on inside. As the group went up to the cabin, they saw people inside, but all of the people were in 17th century garb, and nothing that was modern or similar to what the group of friends was wearing. One of the friends began to try and enter the cabin and was halfway in the door when the friends quickly pulled her back. After being pulled out, it was discovered that the half of her body that had entered the cabin was now paralyzed. If her body really did become paralyzed because it had entered another dimension, that would definitely explain all of those strange stone statues. In our number 8 spot, we have the old story of the Green Children of Woolpit. In the 12th century, it is said that 2 children were discovered just outside of Woolpit, Great Britain, but what was so weird about them is that they had green skin. When the children were brought back into the city and given food and water, they refused to eat anything other than raw beans. Eventually, their green skin began to fade and turned into a more normal human color. One of the children passed away, but the girl continued to grow and eventually learned English. When she was finally able to communicate with those around her, she told told the story of how her and her brother had come from a place that was in constant darkness called St. Martin's Land. Everyone from her town lived underground, and everyone had the same green skin. The girl and her brother were wandering around one day when they came across a cave, and they decided to enter. They kept walking and eventually came to Woolpit, and when they turned around, the cave they had been in disappeared. Did this cave act as a portal to an alternate reality for these kids? If so, I don't ever want to end up where they come from because it does not sound nice. Guys, before I continue on in this list, make sure you hit that like button because it really helps us out. In our number 7 spot today, we have the story of James Richards. In 2009, James was walking his dog when he tripped and knocked his head, rendering him unconscious. When he woke up, he found himself beside some sort of machine he didn't recognize, and there was another man named Jonas who said he had just found James' body while he was on a work trip for the interdimensional travel company that he worked for. What? The two ended up striking up some sort of conversation, I guess like you would when someone just casually tells you that they travel through dimensions for work. They started chatting about what pop culture was like in each of their dimensions, and they came to discover that, of course, the Beatles existed in both of their dimensions. Jonas ended up explaining that in his dimension, the Beatles were all still alive and they had never actually broken up. Jonas gave James a cassette tape of the Beatles music from his dimension that certainly does not exist in ours. When James returned to our universe, he ended up uploading the tape to a website called thebeatlesneverbroakeup.com. In our number 6 spot, we have a story from Reddit that was posted by the user 2humfolk. One day, the writer was driving home from school and began trying to call their boyfriend using the hands-free feature. The phone didn't end up ringing even after 5 separate attempts, so they turned the phone off and then on again and tried one more time. This time the boyfriend answered, but it didn't really sound like the person they knew and loved, and they also sounded like they were pretty freaked out. He said, "Liz, is this you?" Liz kept saying hello, but wasn't getting an answer, and panicked and hung up the phone. Liz tried calling again twice, but there was no ring again. Luckily, on the 3rd try, another voice picked up the phone and asked, "Is this better?" Liz then asked who this was, and the voice responded with something unintelligible, and then they hung up. Liz continued to call the boyfriend until he picked up the phone. Sounding significantly more like himself and not panicked at all, Liz asked who was picking up the phone earlier, and the boyfriend explained that no one had picked up the phone because he had never received any other calls. When Liz got home and checked the boyfriend's call log, they realized that only one call had gone through to his phone. Liz made sure that they were dialing the right number when they were calling, and it was the correct number every single time. Who had been answering the boyfriend's phone? At our number 5 spot and halfway mark, we have another Reddit post from Tiger King Quinton. The user explains that this story takes place when they were 8 years old in Florida with their family and their friend's family for a 2-week vacation. The friend really wanted to go to Wet n Wild and begged for his parents to take them there, so they ended up going one day during the trip. The boy and his dad ended up going into the wave pool that day and were mainly staying in the shallow area. After a while, a larger wave comes their way and it takes the boy underneath the water. He realizes he can't feel the bottom anymore and begins to panic, trying to break the surface of the water. When he reaches the top and gets his head out of the water, he realizes that he is no longer at Wet n Wild, but is in the middle of an ocean a couple hundred meters from an island. He doesn't know where or what this island is, but after a few seconds he begins to feel lightheaded and sinks back into the water. Luckily, he then feels some hands under his arms and he realizes his dad is lifting him out of the water back at Wet n Wild, asking him if he's alright. Maybe this wave pool really did take this kid to an alternate dimension. In our number 4 spot, we have a story coming from Tokyo in 1954. At the Haneda airport, a plane from Europe landed and dropped off its passengers. As the passengers made their way through customs, one man told the officials that he was just on a normal business trip that he made regularly. He spoke French as his first language, but could also speak Japanese and a few other languages. Officials then asked him where he was from, and his response is where things take a turn. He said he was from a place called Torrid, which was on the border between France and Spain. When officials told him that the place didn't exist, he gave them a passport that had been issued by this country that isn't real. This passport had also been stamped, validating all of the previous trips he had said he went on, including his previous trips to Japan. Officials called the company that he said he was meeting with, and the company said that they had never heard of him or his company before. They then called the hotel he said he had a reservation at, and the bank that was listed on his checkbook. The hotel said that there was no reservation for him, and the bank just didn't exist at all. Officials thought that maybe he was confused, so they showed him a map and pointed to the country of Andorra, asking him if this is what he meant. The man began to get upset, saying that Andorra didn't exist and that it had misplaced Torrid where he claimed to be from. Customs decided to detain the man and put him in a hotel room for the night while they decided what to do next. The next day when they went to collect the man, he had totally disappeared with all of his personal identification and documents. Police searched for this missing man, but he was never found. Maybe this man somehow accidentally found himself in a parallel universe separate from his own, and I just hope he was able to make it back to wherever he was from and return to his normal life. In our number 3 spot, we have the story of a man named Jafar Vorin. Jafar was a strange man who just appeared in a village one day before he was picked up by authorities. The language he spoke was closest to German, but even then it wasn't quite the same. Jafar said he was from a place called Sakria and that he was searching for his brother who had been lost in a shipwreck. He couldn't point out where he was from, but was able to tell authorities some geographical information about where he had come from. He explained that his home had 5 separate compartments, or continents, called Sakria, Aflar, Aslar, and Uplar. He couldn't show anyone how he had arrived at the village, and he had no idea how to get home, so he just ended up living out the rest of his life in Berlin. It's crazy to think that maybe he was a man from another dimension and he ended up just getting stuck here. I feel bad for him, and I wish we could have helped him return home. In our number 2 spot, we have the story of Pedro Ramirez. Pedro was driving from a place called Seville to his home in Alcalá de Guadalajara on a November night in 1986. As he went around a curve in the road, he suddenly found himself on a 6-lane highway, and as he continued to drive straight, he saw tall buildings, unidentified structures, and grass that was 2 feet tall growing alongside the road. These were all things that were out of the ordinary for that area. He continued driving, and suddenly Pedro heard a voice that told him he had been transferred to another country in a different hemisphere. Pedro didn't know what to do, so he kept driving for another hour before stopping on the side of the road to take a look around. After a short break, he began driving again, only to come across a sign with 3 arrows pointing in different directions. One was labeled Malaga, the other was Sevilla, and the last was Alcabala. Pedro decided to take the Sevilla route, and after driving down it for a while, he stopped again. When he pulled over and got out of the car, he stood there for a second, and then when he looked back to his left, he saw he was standing right outside of his home. He tried to go back to where he had been before, but couldn't find anything that he had seen before, including the sign with the 3 arrows. Who knows where Pedro was for that while, but I'm very glad that he ended up making it home safely. In our number 1 spot today, we have the story of Lorena Garcia. One morning in 2008, Lorena woke up in a life that was similar to the one she was living when she went to sleep, but certainly not the same. At first it was just small things like her bed sheets and her pajamas, but when she got to work, things began to escalate. Lorena realized that her office wasn't her office and that she worked in the same building, but in a completely different department. She had never even met her boss before, so she knew that this couldn't have been a moment where she just got lost or confused. When she returned home after work that day, she was met by her ex-boyfriend, only to find out that he was apparently her current boyfriend. She tried to find the person that she had been dating for months, but he didn't seem to exist in this new life and world that she found herself in. Lorena began to seek psychiatric help because she was fearing that she was having some sort of nervous breakdown, but all tests revealed that she seemed to be of sound body and mind. The strange occurrences continued when Lorena asked her family how her sister was doing. Lorena knew that her sister had recently had shoulder surgery and wanted to check in, but when she asked her family, they were baffled by her claims and insisted that there was no surgery that had taken place on anyone in the family. Lorena couldn't find any answers to her situation and was having no luck with a medical explanation either. She is convinced that she went to sleep one night and woke up in a parallel universe that was altered slightly by small decisions that she had made. Honestly, after all of these stories, I kind of believe Lorena too.
Number 10, the stone cabin. Everyone needs that friend in your life that will save you from a potential horror film, you know? Like that friend who says, no, let's not go into the basement after we hear creepy whispers. Let's not stop on the road after we might have seen a werewolf. Thankfully, this woman had that kind of friend, but was a minute too late. According to a BuzzFeed article, one night, a woman and her friend were camping when they heard strange music. They followed it to a small stone cabin where they reported seeing people dancing wearing fashion from the 17th century. The one woman, curious, tried to enter the cabin, but thankfully her friend pulled her back. But her body had already gone halfway inside, and when her friend removed her, the one half of her body that made it in was paralyzed. Number 9, Lorena Garcia. Imagine waking up one morning and slowly realizing that everything around you looks a little too different. Well, that's exactly what happened to Lorena Garcia. Upon hearing her story, it's hard to deny that this is anything but a case of multiverse travel. She woke up one morning to find minor differences in her bedsheets, pajamas, which fair enough, she might have just been groggy, but then she went to work, and her office wasn't hers because she worked in an entirely different department under a boss she never met, though she worked in the same building. Shaken, she goes home only to find her ex at her apartment. But they're dating still, and her new beau is nowhere to be found. I can only imagine how stressful this day must have been. It is no wonder that Lorena came to the conclusion that she did, that she is from a parallel universe and that she must have somehow traveled here in her sleep. Number 8, Yopar Voron. When Yopar Voron was questioned by authorities, no one could make any sense of his answers. He spoke some strange version of German and claimed to be a part of the world called Sacria. Sacria was a part of an entirely separate continent, he said, and he began recounting the differences between our world and his. He said they had a Christian-like religion and were separated from Europe by vast oceans. The reason for his visit was to track down his long-lost brother, but he got lost after going through a traumatic shipwreck. He tried looking on any maps he could find, but could not trace his journey on any of the maps found. Whoever he was and whatever happened to him, Voron is often used as evidence of universal travel. Number 7, Pedro Ramirez. One of my biggest fears is getting so lost I can't find my way back. So, while coming across this story, I was flooded with some pretty terrifying images. This next story happened in 1986 to a man named Pedro Ramirez while he was driving from Seville to Alcalá de Guadaira, which is where he lived. While driving around a curve in the road, as usual, he suddenly came onto a 6-lane highway, something he was obviously not used to. But then around him, he started seeing 20-story housing units, weird, unfamiliar structures, and grass that stood 2 feet high. Soon after noticing these strange things, the inside of his car suddenly became very hot, and he started hearing voices telling him that he was being transferred to another country. He then found a place to stop so he could get his bearings, and once he got back into his car, he saw a sign out of nowhere with 3 different locations. He took the one that said Sevilla Detour because he recognized it, but drove only for a little while only to suddenly stop, realizing he'd arrived outside his home, not knowing how he got in there. He tried to retrace his steps, but the signs were nowhere to be found. Number 6, Carol Chase McElhenney. I'm getting the sense here that if you are looking to travel to an alternate universe, then just get in your car and drive down a lonely highway. In the case of a woman named Carol Chase McElhenney, it was nostalgia that brought her down a much distorted memory lane. While driving towards Paris, California, she saw a sign leading to her hometown of Riverside. Memories flooding back, she decided to visit. When she entered the town, everything looked remarkably different. The houses had all changed, her childhood home as well as her grandparents' house was grown over with weeds, and University Avenue, a place known for its restaurants and businesses, was covered in graffiti. But not only that, the people looked disturbed, and Carol had a weird feeling that if she spoke to them, she'd get stuck there too. So she found her way out of the town, back to Paris, missing the sorry sight as a town left to rot. Only years later, Carol's father passed away and was going to be buried in her grandparents' plot in Riverside. This time, when she returned, everything was back to normal, to how she remembered it. Carol believes she visited a parallel universe that showed an alternate reality of a ruined Riverside. Number 5, passport. It is not uncommon for people to be able to fake documents all the time. Passports, IDs, or report card. Jokes, I'm kidding, I got straight A's, okay? Anyways, back to the story. When a man showed up in Japan with a strange business passport belonging to an entirely unknown country called Torrid, they thought for sure it was fake. The man told customs that he was in Japan for business, and despite the passport being strange, he had with him multiple legitimate visa stamps and currency from European countries. It was going to take a while to sort through everything, so they set him up in a hotel that was 15 stories up above a busy street. This is important to note because when they came to collect him, the man was nowhere to be found. Number 4, wrong turn. There is something eerie and beautiful about driving on the highway at night. Only possibilities and an open road in front of you. Unless you're these girls. 3 women were driving across the desert in Nevada but found themselves taking a wrong turn. Though before, the road was black asphalt. Now, the stretch in front of them was stark white cement. But not only that, instead of a desert, the grain field and a lake surrounded them. They were clearly lost, and while driving by a weird, illegible neon sign, decided to stop in to ask for assistance. But then suddenly, a group of strange, tall men poured out of the door looking distressed. They were waving their arms at the girls, but as they got closer, they realized that they weren't anywhere close to being human. They raced back to the car, passing strange egg-shaped tricycle-like vehicles like nothing they'd ever seen before. They pressed their foot to the gas and didn't look back after that, and before they knew it, they were back in the desert once again, with nothing but road and strange possibilities behind them. Number 3, green-skinned children. The green-skinned children is a legend from the village of Woolpit, Suffolk, England. The story goes that in the 12th century, 2 children, a brother and a sister, suddenly appeared in the village. They both had green-colored skin, wore weird clothes, and spoke an entirely unknown language. Despite their oddities, the village took them in, though initially refused any and all food offered to them. Eventually, they took a liking to raw beans, and then soon altogether food. The more they ate and the longer they stayed, the more the green color began to fade. Soon after this, though, the brother got sick and died. But the 2 children eventually learned to speak English too, just enough to explain where they were from. They spoke of a place where it was perpetually twilight, and had been helping their dad with the cattle when a loud bang sounded, and they turned up in Woolpit, and there they stayed. The young girl ended up growing old in Woolpit, even marrying, though people still didn't know where they even came from. Number 2, the doppelganger. How I Met Your Mother fans may hear the word doppelganger and recall the series of episodes where each of the leads meet their doppelganger. Hilarity ensued. What if everyone but you has met them? In this next story, it certainly seems as though something stranger is afoot. Reddit user, please probe me. Great, solid name, man. Used to work at a dog rescue place in the Midwest with a close-knit group of 10 employees. Allegedly, the place they worked was haunted, but after this experience, he and his fellow employees believed that this place housed a veil between our world and another. His co-workers would often see him or a version of him in 2 places at once. He would be out in the front yard, only to be found moments later at the opposite end of the house. Here is just one example he recounts, and I quote, "Someone watched me go into the closet holding the water tank and followed me asking me some questions about work matters. As soon as they turned into the closet, I was gone. I hadn't walked into that closet at all around that time, let alone on that day," unquote. Eventually, he made the difficult decision to leave the establishment, only to hear that his friends still continued to see him there working, though he's miles away. Number 1, the nerdy kid Gavin. This next story is from Reddit user Theus Eus and tells the tale of his suspicious friend, Gavin, or at least that's the alias he's been given. Gavin and Theus became very close friends, brought together by their love of World of Warcraft. Wow, what a great friendship! Gavin, though a bit awkward, was great to play with and apparently was a genius with an IQ of 180. One day, our Reddit user went over to his house unannounced to see if Gavin was around. He was surprised to see an older man of about 40 answer the door, who looked eerily similar to Gavin. He immediately assumed that he was Gavin's father, but then soon recalled that he didn't have a dad. His uncle, perhaps? When he asked to see Gavin, the man claimed he was Gavin, but upon explaining that he was looking for a 16-year-old Gavin, the man began to look uneasy. Theus asked when Gavin would be home, and upon hearing the answer, returned at the appropriate time. This time, his 16-year-old friend opened the door, and when he asked about why he wasn't home earlier, Gavin said he had been home and that no older Gavin lived there. The 2 never told anyone this story, and Gavin is currently studying quantum mechanics, so could it be that Gavin cracked the code and found a way to visit from an alternate universe? Who knows? Number 10, Casper Hauser. I actually think someone mentioned this name last time in the comments or in another video, so whoever you are, thank you. I just couldn't find the comment again. Kaspar Hauser appeared out of nowhere, and wherever his name appears, rumors encircle it. Some say he was even the infamous Man in the Iron Mask. He was first discovered limping through the streets of Germany in the 1800s and would accept no food but black bread and water. He was carrying an envelope addressed to the cavalry captain in Nuremberg and could barely speak. The locals eventually taught him German in order to discern where he was from, but when he could finally speak enough of the language, they discovered he didn't know where he was from or who his parents were, only that he grew up in a cell too short for him, hence the limp. Very Iron Masky. The royal courts took an interest in him and he became a sort of beloved enigma, except by those who tried to assassinate him. Adding to the mystery, the man evaded countless attacks until he was finally killed by a stabbing in 1838. No one knew the motives or who the killer was. Only a note left in mirror writing said, "Hauser will be able to tell you quite precisely how I look and from where I am. To save Hauser the effort, I want to tell you myself from where I come. I come from the Bavarian border on the river. I will even tell you the name MLA. Where did this man come from, and if it was where we think he came from, were there others? Others who wanted him dead. His tombstone reads, "Here lies Kaspar Hauser, riddle of his time." Number 9, Jill Perez. I'm actually kind of jealous of this one. If I could have any superpower in the world, it would be teleportation, hands down. I think about this a lot actually. Want pizza for lunch? Boom! Italy. Need a little vacay beach time? Boom, baby! Jill Perez may have unlocked the secret to teleportation hundreds of years ago in the 1590s. The key is you have to be really tired. It's a wonder that this hasn't already happened to me. Jill Perez was acting as a sentry for the Governor General of the Philippines, which requires a lot of standing and waiting. While he was on duty, not doing a very good job evidently, he heard the general had been assassinated, and due to the long hours, he started to feel faint at the news and took a moment to brace himself and closed his eyes while leaning against the wall. When he opened his eyes, he was surrounded by soldiers in uniforms unlike his own, and after they arrested him, he realized he was in Mexico? He told them what had happened to his general, and when they discovered he was telling the truth, they sent him back via ship. Just how he got to Mexico is a mystery, but I will consider carrying my passport with me at all times, just in case this ever happens to me. Please? Come on, I want some ramen. Number 8, the man from Lisbea. I mentioned the man from Torrid last time, well here is the man from Lisbea. If you just arrived from a parallel universe, I bet you'd be a little confused as to what's going on. Parisian police found a man wandering around the city in 1905 that they decided to interrogate because they didn't know what the heck he was doing. He didn't speak the language, and when they asked where he was from, he said Lisbea. Sounds a lot like Lisboa or Lisbon, right? So they called in a translator from Portugal, but the man didn't speak Portuguese. In fact, he didn't speak any language they recognized, though it did follow the same patterns as most languages do. Eventually, the police had spent enough time with him and arrived at enough dead ends to decide to let the man go, but were committed to keeping an eye on him because they weren't getting safe vibes. They let him off with a warning, but almost as soon as they let him go, they never heard or saw him again. So where did he go? Into a parallel universe, traveling through space and time. Whoa, anyways. Number 7, Jerome of Sandy Cove. This is actually a pretty famous supernatural story here in Canada. The tale of Jerome of Sandy Cove. Like some others on this list, the event occurred in the 1800s in 1863. A boy had been walking on the beach and encountered an old man who appeared to be suffering. Very Great Expectations-y. The man couldn't speak English and only mumbled to the boy even after he was picked up and examined by authorities. His legs had been severed professionally at the knee, but no one knew how he got there, and it hadn't been done by anyone close by. They continued to try and communicate with him, and a woman named Jean Nicolas, who was multilingual, tried to speak Latin, French, Italian, and Spanish, but there wasn't a glimmer from the man. The only thing they could barely make out was when the man mumbled something like Jerome. The man became a mystery and a local oddity all the way up until he passed away in 1912. There is even a real gravesite you can visit. How did a man with no legs and barely a name and no one to claim him end up on a beach alone? There's only one explanation, or several, depending how wild you want to get with it. You do you. Number 6. Utsuro Boon. This one could have a relationship to alien technology or interdimensional travel. There's a reason there's a might. You decide and I'll let the story speak for itself, shall we? The setting, 19th century Japan in a small village. According to scrolls recording the incident, a strange ship shaped like a rice bowl washed ashore. It had glowing lights inside and looked nothing like anything anyone had ever seen. Sounds like an alien ship crashed, right? That's what I thought. Well, it could be, but upon the description inside, it may sound a little too familiar to be from beyond our world. When villagers peered inside the ship, they saw food that looked similar to candy, as well as a kind of plush carpeting, very 60s or 90s depending. Then, when the ship opened, an alleged 18-year-old red-headed woman with white hair extensions clutched a strange box emerged. She didn't speak their language and no one could figure out where she came from. Something about this story sounds too familiar, especially with the hair extensions, and it makes me wonder, could this be a ship from the future or another future that somehow landed here? With no way of knowing, I guess we might as well have fun with the answer. Go for it! Let us know in the comments. Number 5. Ettore Majorana. Ageless, elusive, and remarkably intelligent. Just 3 ways to describe Ettore Majorana. A man who disappeared, then reappeared, leaving questions in his wake every single time. Majorana was a scientist born in 1906 that made major headlines, not only due to his discoveries, but because of his disappearances. Being plural. He was pronounced dead at age 32 after he allegedly tried to flee fascist Italy to take up residency in Buenos Aires. A plot revealed by a lone witness who said he met him twice before he disappeared. The witness stated that both times they met, Majorana revealed different scientific discoveries he made, but when the man vanished, they assumed he died. That is until a strange photo turned up decades later. In it was clearly Ettore Majorana, taken 20 years after he died, posing with another man and did not appear to have aged a single day. The photo was then reevaluated in 2011 and it was confirmed that the man in it was in fact Majorana. My question is, what was he researching and what did he learn? Is this a question of time travel, or was Majorana able to figure out the impossible, interdimensional travel? Wherever he is, who knows if we will ever see him again. Number 4. David Lang. Okay, this one is definitely a case of interdimensional travel if I've ever heard one. Kind of. I just hope he's okay. In the 1880s, I feel like the 1800s was a weird time, because this is a very common, century for weird things to happen. Anyways, in the 1880s, David Lang, a simple farmer with an overall happy life, was expecting the arrival of his friend August Peck. On the day of his visit, he was expecting to see David greet him with open arms, but instead, a shrill scream cut through the air. As Peck approached the house, he saw, or rather didn't see, his friend slowly fade away into the air while he was walking towards them. But wait, it gets stranger. Peck reported seeing a strange circle form after Lang's figure had disintegrated, and that nothing ever grew in that area ever again. Lang's daughter didn't witness the event, but had heard her father call out to her while she was collecting firewood on the other side of the house. This sounds like something out of the TV show Fringe, if anybody ever watched that. For whatever reason, something cracked in the world that day, swallowing up a simple farmer, bringing him to a world we probably will never know, unless what happened to David Lang happens to you. Before we hit our top 3, do us a favor and smash that like button, and as always, remember to subscribe because it's nice and we like it. Number 3, Diderici's disappearance. There have definitely been a few epic prison escapes in the past through various methods, the old digging a hole with a spoon, bribing a few guards, planning an outside job. But Diderici managed to disappear into thin air. In 1815, Diderici was serving time in a Prussian prison for impersonating and extorting his dead employer. The prison was infamously heavily guarded and housed some of the most cunning prisoners in Europe, but no one has any explanation for how he escaped. On his way to the exercise yard, suddenly Diderici's shackles were empty. The man had disappeared into plain sight and left guards aghast as the shackles once around his wrists clattered to the floor. After several investigations, they finally ruled his disappearance as an act of God, or a crack in the space-time swallowed him up. I think both are equally likely. What do you think? Number 2, The Runner. This is the tale of James Warson, a man who loved to run, though some would say a little too much. He was a British shoemaker in the 1830s, see 1800s again, right? With a passion for running that made him famous in his town. Not only was he fast, but he had incredible stamina, qualities that led to a bet made with his friends that said he couldn't run on a 16-mile well-known trail without stopping.
Worson was a betting man, so of course he took on the challenge with relish. It became a whole event. His friends brought a horse and carriage with them to travel with him to watch, but a few miles into the race, he vanished in front of their very eyes. Worson tripped and let out a piercing scream, but not due to pain. His friends reported seeing a look of terror on his face, unlike anything they'd ever seen, as if he saw something right in front of him that scared him to his core. Seconds later, he vanished into thin air. They searched the area extensively, got the police involved, but nothing. No trace was ever found of him ever again. That secret remains with Worson, wherever, whenever he is. And last but not least, we have our number 1 spot, Stephen Kubacki. Disappearances are never simple, but this one continues to boggle the minds of even the man who disappeared himself. In 1978, Stephen Kubacki was excited to take on the skiing trails near Lake Michigan, but when he still hadn't returned the following day, the search began. They searched for days, but the only traces they found led to one dead end after the other. The first discovery was a set of footprints where Kubacki said he was going, but they stopped right at the edge of a frozen lake, with no signs of further footprints or clues that the ice broke. Sure, it could have snowed over, but there was no little divots or anything like that. They just simply stopped. Next, they found his skis and his backpack, but no sign of the skier himself. Eventually, the search was called off, but his family held on to hope. A year later, they were rewarded when Stephen suddenly showed up at their doorstep, having little to no memory of what happened. He said earlier that day, he woke up hundreds of miles from where he disappeared in a field in Pittsfield. He was wearing clothes that weren't his, he had maps he didn't recognize, and a strange bag that also wasn't his. Stephen remained recluse and isolated after the incident and refused to undergo any offerings of hypnotic regression. Whatever happened, he had no desire whatsoever to remember it. Could it be that somehow Stephen traveled somewhere no one was supposed to go? It looks like not even Stephen will ever know. Number 10, the Babushka Lady. The year 1963 might send your history teacher into a spiral about all things that happened in that year. On the top of that list was the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the bullet that shook the nation. With multiple eyewitnesses yet no initial clues to who the shooter was, even though the case pretty much settled on Lee Harvey Oswald, there are still a ton of conspiracy theories surrounding his death, one of which surrounds a mysterious lady named the Babushka Lady, an unknown elderly woman who may have photographed the events. It is clear that she took multiple photos of the assassination, but none of her photos ever showed up. Despite multiple searches for the woman, she never showed up. To add more fuel to the fire, could it have been that she was a simple interdimensional traveler sent to document an alternate reality? Who knows? I mean, maybe. There's a reason there's a might in the title, so. Number 9, Alexandria Alexis. You may have seen the side profile of a mysterious woman named Alexandria Alexis circulate social media a little while ago, around 2013. Then, if you were following the story, you may have heard that it was debunked. Or was it? For those of you who are unfamiliar, Alexandria Alexis was a mysterious actress who suddenly graced New York society in the year 1898. She took the stage by storm. Some adored her, others abhorred her, saying that the woman was likely insane. She kept saying she was from the future after all, specifically 2025. But in 1899 on New Year's Eve, she simply disappeared, never to be seen again. So, who was she really? Well, it is said that she wasn't a time traveler at all, but a British actress who appeared in New York named Grace Rawlinson. But if you look at the two pictures, they kind of look a little similar, but not too much. So was the mystery really debunked, or is there another weirder explanation that they don't want us to know? Number 8, D.B. Cooper. Okay, hate me if you want. I debated putting D.B. Cooper on this list, but here we are. It's part 3, okay? How does a man who no one knows steal a bunch of money, leap out of a plane, and entirely disappear? Unless you're some mysterious, mischievous Norse god. Tom Hiddleston, what's up? Love you. Anyways, the year 1971, an afternoon on November 24th in Portland, Oregon. Armed with sunglasses and a will to pull off a mystery, the so-named Dan Cooper sidled onto flight number 305 bound for Seattle, Washington. Bourbon and soda in hand, he made some cheeky eyes at the flight attendant. She blushed. Was he the one? I'm editorializing, but you're still watching, so sue me. He asked her to sit and slides her a note. Was it his number? Nope. It simply said that he had a bomb, not that he was the bomb, or she was the bomb. A rerouted plane, 4 parachutes, and $200,000 in $20 bills later, and Dan Cooper leapt out of the plane before he could break any more hearts, never to be seen again. It's one thing to disappear without a trace. He could have fallen into the ocean, but who was he in the first place? Cooper was a man without a past, in this universe at least, but who knows about the next. Number 7. Wolf Messing. The man who knew too much. A man so mysterious and enigmatic, he even had minds like Einstein and Freud stumped. Wolf Messing had to be from another world, or perhaps he was simply a man who lived between them. Wolf Messing is most famous for a psychic prediction he made in World War II against Adolf Evil Man. In 1937, Messing said, and I quote, and I get to say his name right now, so sorry YouTube, "If declares war in the East, his death awaits him," unquote. He was specifically referring to an attack on Russia, which funnily enough, eventually came true. This prediction angered the German leaders so much that he sent out a bounty of 20,000 Reichsmarks on his head. He was eventually arrested, but escaped after hypnotizing the guards that there were diamonds all over the floor. Damn, Messing. What a mess. But that's not all. Freud put him to the test himself in Einstein's own apartment. He gave Messing a mental command, then left the room. Messing was successful and did exactly as instructed. He left the room, grabbed a pair of tweezers, and pulled a hair from Einstein's mustache, all without Freud uttering a single word. Messing didn't disappear, but actually died in 1974. Whether or not he could physically travel between worlds, it does appear that Messing's talents were not of this one. Number 6. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. We've talked about individuals appearing and reappearing, but what about a whole group of people just The Lost Colony of Roanoke is one of the most famous disappearances in history. Great Britain tried to colonize this island a few times, initially attempted by Sir Walter Raleigh. They were already having trouble with a lack of supplies, as well as they didn't have a good relationship with the surrounding indigenous tribes. Gee, I wonder why. Anyways, they went back to get more supplies, and when mission leader John White returned, there was not a soul there. The fort was fortified, but not a single person remained. The only clue left behind was a cryptic word that said Croatoan, an island they thought the colony had retreated to, but they were still never found. Did some kind of mal-event befall them, or did they accidentally find an entirely new world to explore? Only they know the answers. Number 5. Sir Victor Goddard. The year was 1935 when a winged commander named Sir Victor Goddard, what a great name, right? Took a flight he will never forget. The man was to fly his open cockpit biplane from Scotland to England, but he may have flown somewhere else by accident. He was passing over the World War I constructed Drem Airfield in Edinburgh that was a bit of a fixer-upper. That was how he left it, but when he returned home 24 hours later, he flew into an unusual storm, causing him to lose control of his airplane. Miraculously, he recovered from a downward spiral just mere feet above a stony beach, but when he rose back up into the sky, the once stormy display was now overwhelmed by sunshine. And when he came across the airfield he'd seen when he left, it was entirely restored. There were planes he didn't recognize, along with men in blue jumpsuits, which was weird as the engineers typically wore brown. Not even Goddard himself ever unraveled the mystery, but one thing is for sure, Goddard took a detour that wasn't on the flight plan. Number 4. Håkan Nordqvist. Probably said that wrong. We try our best. Who would have thought that a portal to the future might exist under someone's kitchen cabinet? I mean, I've heard of like wardrobes leading to Narnia, but this is like a whole different thing, a little bit more scummy, a little more dirty jobs. And yes, I know this one isn't technically parallel universes, it's more time travel, but technically it's both because you might need to travel through a parallel universe to get back in time, so I think this counts anyways. Shall we? On August 30th, 2006, 36-year-old Håkan found a puddle on his kitchen floor, so he decided to crawl under the sink to sort out the trouble. But the cupboard just kept going and going and going until finally he saw a light at the end of the tunnel. Sounds pretty grim, but it's not. He said, and I quote, "In the end of the tunnel I saw a light, and when I got there I realized I was in the future," unquote. Out he crawled and he came across his 72-year-old self. He ran him through a couple of tests first, and the man knew things only he could know. There were things like where things were hidden when he was like 5 years old, and they also had the same tattoo. So he did what any self-respecting time traveler would do. They took a selfie. Check out this clip. 3. Hutton and Brandt. It seems like these two may have stumbled upon a window in the universe. A universe due to specific events that may have already been at war. In 1932, two German newspaper reporters named J. Bernard Hutton and Joachim Brandy were visiting a Hamburg shipyard when suddenly their world changed forever. They heard the unmistakable sounds of warplanes flying overhead and bombs began dropping from the sky. They quickly took pictures of the wreckage because apparently that was more important than diving for cover, and drove back as soon as they could to develop them. But when they went to see the photos, nothing was there. Not a single shred of evidence showed the attack. Their boss thought they were drunk, so they were kinda under probation for a bit, but that wasn't the case, and they knew it. But 11 years later, the exact event would happen in the exact same spot. Their suspicions were confirmed when they saw photos of the wreckage looking identical to the photos they took. Number 2. The Philadelphia Survivor. Ah, yes, the Philadelphia experiment. I bet you wondered when this little experiment was gonna make it onto this list, you cheeky monkey. Urban legend, conspiracy theory, the Philadelphia experiment remains a thrilling possibility. In 1943, the USS Eldridge allegedly was made invisible and teleported from Pennsylvania to Virginia. Did this actually happen? Who knows? But the movie definitely did, and it did nothing to help the conspiracy theories circling the world. But a man named Alfred Bielek found the film incredibly life-changing, as while watching it, he realized who he actually was, the lone survivor of the experiment. After seeing the 1988 film, Bielek's memories came flooding back that he was actually Ed Cameron and he had been born in 1916. He'd been recruited by a secret mission called the Project Rainbow in 1940. He said Black Ops sent him through a portal in the Pentagon to Alpha Centauri. While there, aliens interrogated him and transformed him into his Al Bielek self at only 1 year old. That's one way to reverse the aging process, I guess. And a lot of people don't believe him. You can guess why, it sounds pretty crazy, but, you know, it's a crazy world. Who knows? Number 1, last but not least, the story of Ron and Chuck Quinn. Whilst on the hunt for ancient gold in Arizona, Ron and Chuck Quinn may have stumbled upon something even older and far more mysterious. In 1956, the brotherly duo were 3 weeks into their adventure when they saw two strange large balls of blue-green light. Sounds like an alien encounter. Well, perhaps, though things get even stranger. They discovered that the lights were a reoccurring phenomenon in the area, and the brothers saw them several more times. Later on in their travels, they passed a stone archway that looked odd among the landscape. They discussed it with a local native named John, who warned that anyone who passed through it never returned. See where I'm going with this? They even threw rocks and stuff and nothing came back. It was nicknamed the Doorway to the Gods, for on top of the disappearances, some reported seeing shimmering figures through the doorway. When the brothers returned to it, at first nothing strange happened. They threw stuff through it, dropped dead on the other side, not a big deal. Until one day, the door started shimmering. The men vowed never to return, except 4 years later Chuck couldn't help himself, so he ventured back and sought out the archway. When he got there, he saw the archway and also a canyon that he didn't remember being there. But when he went to return on his way back, he suddenly realized out of nowhere he had just traveled 250 yards away from where he was when he began his descent back, having no recollection of traveling that far. Did Chuck enter the doorway and something erased his memory? I suppose we will never know.